Como é que é, pessoal? Bem-vindos novamente ao Underground Voice ao vivo. Hoje tenho o prazer de receber o Igor Amadeus Cavalera, mais um representante da família Cavalera na Underground Voice. Man, thank you so much for being here. It's a huge honor to meet you and to receive you there at Underground Voice from Portugal. Go ahead.
Ah, thank you.
My pleasure, man. Go Ahead and Die is a new band and it's already a nightly anticipated project for obvious reasons. And we will talk about that next. But first, everyone knows you, not only for being Max Cavalera's son, but also because we used to see you on stage since really young. I remember to see you on drums playing Troops of Doom like 10 years ago or something. And now you have a real band with your father, one of the most important artists of metal history. So how does it feel, all that?
Oh, it's great. I'm really proud to Go Ahead and Die. I really like how the album came out. It was tons of fun to create and to work on, and to have freedom like that with my father was something that we never got the chance to do before. So it was amazing. It was a great experience overall, and yeah, I'm really proud of it. I can't wait for it to unleash on the world.
And 2020 was an historic year that will be remembered forever. A chaotic year with the beginning of a pandemic, racism, death, police brutality, corruption. It's an upside down world, and Go Ahead and Die is all about that. So, would this band exist if 2020 was a normal year?
I think we would have still done a band. My father and me. It's been an idea for a couple of years that we wanted to do, um, but I don't think it would have been as aggressive, and I don't think it would have had the same content, especially when it comes to COVID and things like that. Obviously, without COVID, we wouldn't have written songs like "Truckload Full of Bodies" and "Isolated, Desolated." Those are both songs. That the themes come from COVID and stuff like that. So I think we still would have done the band, but it would have been different.
The first and self-titled album will be released in June, and you already can listen to songs: "Truckload Full of Body" and "Toxic Freedom." The first one is a really fast and dark song about COVID, as you said, and the second one is not so fast, but it have that super heavy dead metal punk vibe. And it's about police brutality, but both are really more than that. So, can you explain us more about these songs?
Yeah, Truckload Full of Bodies, like you mentioned, is about COVID in a number of ways. The actual song title itself was inspired after we saw a photo. I forget where it was from. I think it was New York City, but I'm not positive. But it was a photo of a freezer truck, and they were putting COVID victims into this truck because there was just nowhere else to put them. The hospital was full. It was that chaotic and crazy. So that inspired the chorus and the title of the song and the video and stuff like that. But it's a dark topic, and it's a dark subject, but it is kind of a positive message of the song of we need to do something about this. We need to change something. We need to take action. A lot of people died. A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people went homeless. A lot of people committed suicide because of COVID. So the song, in my opinion, went beyond just the disease itself, but also into the effects it's having on the world, and the lack of help and succor that we received from the government. We got a small amount of money one time, at the start of COVID, and then as it went along, things started getting better. But there was a time when things were horrible for people.
And Toxic Freedom have an animated video. Is this because you wanted to make a global scale portrait on this topic and not just focus on an isolated episode like George Floyd dead, for example?
Yeah, in my opinion, George Floyd was a catalyst for something that has been going on a lot longer than that, and has been known. And you know, with this band, it went hand in hand because in the '80s, a lot of the punk bands and thrash bands that we were listening to for inspiration for Go Ahead and Die would talk about equality, racism, fascism, things like that decades ago. So, these are problems that have existed, and George Floyd was a catalyst for it, and he was the spark that changed the situation. You're seeing Derek Chauvin just finally got sentenced for murdering him and stuff. So you're starting to see some small actions coming of it, but otherwise, racism and systems of racism have existed for a long time. So yeah, the animated video was a great way to show it to the global audience that while we're Americans and we have our instances going on, it is happening in more places, more places than just America. For instance, Brazil, where my father's from, has long had political and police corruption and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a personal political ideology of me and my father both. That there is corruption in the government, there is corruption in the police forces around the world, and Toxic Freedom is a perfect example of it.
It is. It is. And realizing the concept and the protest motivations of Go Ahead and Die, can we consider that the band is an updated version of what was Nailbomb in '94?
Yeah, you could say that. There's similar, um, they're similar in themes, in lyrics, and imagery and stuff like that. Maybe not the exact same sound,
Yeah.
but similar. Nailbomb was more industrial, but they both have the crust punk and the hardcore influences. So yeah, you could say Go Ahead and Die is Nailbomb inspired and similar in those ways when it comes to the lyrics.
And you already said that you guys have plans to play live with the band in the future. So Max is always really busy in play with a lot of projects and special shows. How hard will it be to schedule some shows with because of that?
I think we're going to try to prioritize doing Go Ahead and Die because it is new. Soulfly's existed, Cavalera's Conspiracy has existed, Killer Be Killed is busy with their own things. We're going to prioritize it and just make sure that we do get the chance to do it. It just really comes down to scheduling and when concerts open back up, when borders open back up. There's still a lot of places that America does not have open travel to right now, and vice versa. So it really just comes down to that, when things are safe for to be open again. But we do want to play it. The old school sound and the old school vibe of the record needs to be played live. People need to see it because that's the essence of it. The energy and the passion is there live.
You have already any plans to schedule some dates?
Hopefully by the end of the year, if things get better. But nothing is solid yet.
Okay. And Zach is doing an amazing job with Black Curse and Chemis, but this band don't have the exactly same vibe of Go Ahead and Die. So when and why did you think that it would make sense and a great choice for him in the band?
It was a connection just through music. Friend of a friend of a friend puts us in touch with each other. So it was actually Arthur Risk who mixed and mastered the record. He's a pretty good friend of the Cavalera family, and he gave us the recommendation about Zach because they had worked together as well. And when I checked out Chemis, and Black Curse, I was pretty surprised that it's the same drummer because they're very different styles of music. So I liked that. I knew he could play slow or fast. Anything we wanted him to do, he could do. So yeah, I basically just called him out of nowhere and told him, we got this band. It's kind of metal. It's kind of punk. Are you interested? And it was it was a connection.
You and Max will be on vocals and guitars. Zach will be on drums. Do you have already any idea about who will join you in the bass for on stage for the shows?
We do have an idea for somebody, but obviously we haven't announced it yet. We haven't made any public statements. But I imagine once we do a live set or even a digital live set, which might come sooner, we will have a bass player for it then, and people will know.
And finally, thank you so much for being here. It was a huge honor to meet you. I'm really happy to have you here because I'm a huge fan of the Cavalera's projects. I already had interviews with Max, with Richie, with Igor here in Portugal. So it's nice to meet you too. So
Likewise.
So any last words for the Portuguese fans and Underground's Voice viewers?
Absolutely. Just please keep your eyes open for Go Ahead and Die. Our album comes out on June 11th. It is in a lot of cool formats. We have 3 different vinyl records. We're putting it out on cassette as well for the collectors and CD. So please just keep your eyes open for that. I have another band called Healing Magic. We're in the stoner sludge side. So if you're in the mood for something slow and groovy, please check us out. We have an EP out already and another album as well. So yes, I will just be very busy with all my bands and releasing lots of videos and content. So just please try to stay up to date on it and keep viewing. And last but not least, obrigado.
It's a great band. Your band is awesome.
Thank you. No, and thanks for having me on the show as well. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Once again, thank you so much and stay safe. See you soon.
Yep, you too. You're welcome. Have a good day. Yep, bye.